Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name's Killer Bear. Yes, that's right. The emu looking version of Charles Manson's Killer Bear. Don't worry, I don't share his beliefs. I just find it funny, the comparison, and I know what's going to come anyway. Before we get into today's video, which, as you can tell by the title, is I believe the world needs to be burned. Don't worry, different reason we're going to go into. I got 4 different points. Let's just go over our sponsor, kill some time, make sure we don't get demonetized. Today's sponsor is W.GG. W.GG is being partnered with me. They gave me a code, Killer Bear, and you can get some of their most wonderful tasting flavors. What I have in here right now, as you can tell, there's something in here, is called the Galaxy Grenade. It's watermelon, guava, and lime. Now, this one and the Beach and Peaches, delicious. I really prefer the beach and peaches, and I hate peaches. But the wonderful, refreshing flavor of it is honestly delicious. Now, if you would like to get, instead of these little small little packets that I have, as you can tell, one serving, one tiny little package, you can instead go and get the tubs that they have. Now, I know what you're going to say, $36. That is astronomical amount of money. Don't worry. The $36 you spend, you can knock that down by 10%. So you're automatically going to start saving money with my code. And you're also going to, you don't need to buy their shaker cups if you don't want to. You can just take this right here, pour it inside, and shake it around. Because guess what? This right here is basically the adult form of Kool-Aid. That's right. The reason I say adult form is there's caffeine in it and it's going to help you get throughout your day. It's going to help you focus. And I'm actually going to need it to go over these 4 different topics. Also, if y'all see me look up, that's because we have someone in the studio guest audience who's simply saying little pointers that are like, you just mentioned a serial killer. Yes, I did. It's because I've been told to look like him. Don't worry, I don't. I'm not that. Now, what are we getting into first? Well, simply put, we're talking about the riots. That's right, buckle up. This is not going to be easy. What do I mean by riots? Well, LA currently is being burned to a crisp. We have police assaulting reporters. We have rioters breaking into cop cars, federal buildings, and burning the American flag. Don't believe me? Let's look at a quick clip.
The situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
Yeah, see, that clip alone makes it seem like the police are just doing police brutality. However, I was also mentioning rioters doing a bunch of stuff as well.
This is not they doing protest. They just doing just for to looting the stores and everything. So this is my store. Then I got the call from the ADT and they asked me that okay, there is a break into your store. So I check in my things. I saw somebody's break into my store and call right away to police and my landlord. And I saw that they break into my store and they took a lot of merchandise from my store right now. This is so ridiculous. Doesn't look like this is for they're protesting for ICE or anything. This is they're doing just for the looting the stores and everything.
Is what's left of our work car. We had it parked near the scene. Obviously, we got here right at the beginning before we knew it was going to escalate to the situation that it got to. This is a brand new news truck that we just got. Looks like the tires were slashed. They busted into the windows. We'll see. Our personal bags were in the car. They stole all the stuff that was inside. There are some things here. Looks like they took cinder blocks through the window.
You know, let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is.
You pointing
Mexican
it out.
flag can, you know.
This is criminal activity that I hope is people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they?
Yeah, as you can tell, both sides are doing idiotic stuff. We got people deciding to go up against federal buildings and deciding to break into cop cars. We have these people deciding to shoot at Australian reporters. Now, luckily, the lady in this video here on the police side, she is luckily alive. What she got shot with is a rubber bullet. Now, I'll try to find a clip, hopefully, of the rubber bullets being used. I'm thinking someone like Kentucky Ballistics has a video up of someone using a rubber bullet, because that's a shotgun that I believe they were using in that video. If so, I'll leave the full link in the description below. However, if not, don't worry, I'll go ahead and tell you the aftermath of that video. The woman went on live television and said she had a giant bruise and was completely sore. Now, not only was it just fired at her randomly, no, the cop took aim. It took him a couple seconds to aim in and perfect this shot. Now, not only was she getting shot by the police, the rioters also were going after her. Now, you might be wondering what I mean rioters were going after her. Well, simple. They didn't believe that she was reporting authentically. Didn't believe she was actually reporting the news. Now, newsflash, she's reporting to Australia. Now, what does she get instead? She gets people trying to steal the camera from her cameraman and has people trying to steal the microphone out of her hand.
Do we have rubber bullets? Do we have rubber bullets? Do we have horses? Do we have horses? I don't care where you come from. Report the truth. Just give you a bit of an idea of that's a flashbang grenade there. Just moving out of the way here, Kate. They've told people to get out of this area, and protesters have been refusing. We are safe here. It's just noisy. But you can see the volatility. I can see police here up firing off rubber bullets at these protesters. Just maybe step over here to the side. Very good. Yeah, we're just going to step over to the side. Whoops, so we're out of the way here. But I mean, all of this coming in the face of those immigration raids. There is just so much anger here in Los Angeles about what has been unfolding. Donald Trump deploying the National Guard, ordering 2,000 troops to be deployed. We've seen around 300 on the ground. I can just show you here, these protesters have pulled out umbrellas trying to avoid these projectiles that are being fired from those mounted police. You can probably see things flying through the air. We are safe, but I'm just going to, maybe we'll just step over to this side here. Yeah, guys, you can see it's a very volatile situation. I've got you guys, I've got you. As we moving.
Paperback boys!
Report the truth!
They
There are definitely more than 1,000. There have been thousands moving down here from Australia. Look, there's a huge amount of police here, a huge amount of protesters. You can see the amount of emotion that's unfolding here. People are angry. We're just going to step across to the side here. Yeah, look, you can sorry guys, it's people are a little bit angry here.
Do we have rubber bullets?
Do we have rubber bullets? Do we have rubber bullets? Do we have horses? Do we have horses? I don't care where you come from. Report the truth. Where you come from?
Yeah, we're all good, guys.
Now, to the riders that decided to scream like complete bellends and complete idiots about how they don't have rubber bullets and all this and that, y'all are also the ones deciding to break into cop cars, go into federal buildings, and burn the American flag. And it doesn't really make sense. Y'all are fighting to stay in America and talking about wanting to be in America. But you're talking about how bad America is and burning our flag. It doesn't make sense at all.
Stop!
Why are you guys rioting?
Because deportation should be illegal in America.
Yeah. Okay, but you do know that almost every country in the world deports, right?
What? Wait, what do you mean?
No, what I mean is you travel to any country in the world and you overstay your welcome without
Right.
proper documentation. They're going to send you back to your country.
Well, why do they need Marines and the National Guard to do it? For real, like, why does it have to be so
Well,
harsh?
my guess is that California is known as a sanctuary state,
Right.
and I think the government expected people to react this way, which they did.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's a little extreme, to be honest, but come on, what'd you expect?
So what I'm hearing is that you support this. Yeah, you're okay with families getting torn apart?
Fuck no, I don't support tearing families apart. What kind of fucking question is that? And I have to spell that out because I'm going to get that in the comment sections about 1,000 times on this video.
Really?
No, but I also don't support rioting in the streets, lighting cars on fire, and burning the American flag.
Because America sucks.
Yeah. Now that we're on that topic, this is about deportation from the United States, right?
Yeah. It should be illegal.
Okay.
What are you getting
so
at?
Why are y'all burning the American flag?
Well-
a flag for a country that you love and you're trying to stay in. Why are you showing so much hatred towards it?
Because why not?
Yeah. Make it make sense! Before y'all come for me in the comment sections, let me reiterate and be perfectly fucking clear when I say I do not support tearing families apart. I'm strongly against the amount of force that ICE has shown during these raids. I think it is fucking insane. But I'm also against rioting and inciting violence on the streets. I think there's a much better way we can communicate. That is all I'm saying. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Even if you want to tear me to shreds, that's fine. I still love you.
Now, don't get me wrong. I can see how this is going to be a political issue. However, I'm not political. Both sides of the party, they can go to outer space without a helmet. I don't care. I don't really care about politics. Republicans, Democrats, I don't care. I don't even believe the government should have a lot of power. I'm an individualist, really. I think the individuals should have a lot of power, not really government. However, I also know that if we didn't have a lot of the main constitutions or laws the government decides to make, well, let's just say there'd be a lot more people than going to wood chippers. And if you don't understand that joke, I'm talking about pedophiles. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get into that later. Now, the cop thing is very strange. In fact, we've had not just cops there. We've also had National Guard have to show up. Now, a lot of people might see National Guard as a bad thing. However, I'm saying this as a complete win. Why? Because it's not really a peaceful protest anymore. You have people stealing stuff and breaking into businesses. Don't believe me? Here's clips.
This is not they're doing protest. They're just doing just for to looting the stores and everything. So this is my store. You know, then I got the call from the ADT and they asked me that okay, there is a break into your store. So I check in my things. I saw somebody's break into my store and call right away to police and my landlord. And I saw that they break into my store and they took a lot of merchandise from my store right now. This is so ridiculous. Doesn't look like this is for they're protesting for ICE or anything. This is they're just doing just for the looting the stores and everything.
That's right. That's a Korean man talking about how rioters decided to break into their buildings. Yeah, multiple buildings have been broken into and stolen stuff out of. In fact, there's been countless things of it on TikTok. Now, I know what you're going to say. This is just a one-off thing. No, every time there's supposedly a peaceful protest, there's rioting happening. There's stealing happening. There's burnings of stuff happening. Which is why I'm actually very happy to see National Guard. National Guard's got a little bit more liberty, but they don't have to follow as many rules. And in fact, they can't really do much against the individual person. So the only thing they can do, they attack if you attack. It's a lot like a dog. Speaking of dogs, let's talk about the Hellhounds? I think that's what they're called. I'm talking about the Marines. Specifically from 29 Palms. Here's some TikToks to poke light at it.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. We play fair and we work hard and we're in harmony. M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Forever let us hold our banner high, 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 high. Boys and girls from far and near, you're welcome as can be. M-I-C-K-E-Y.
As you can see, a lot of people have been making jokes about the Marines joining in the LA fires. Well, the LA protests, really. You know, with them singing the MIK or MICKEYMOUSE. Yeah. Now, the Marines, they little bit different rule set. And supposedly these ones are supposed to have learned how to de-escalate. I'll go ahead and tell you, no, they have not. The Marines here, the only de-escalation they know is, well, yelling someone. We'll put it that way. Now, why do I say that? Well, these guys supposedly decided to join when we were back in the sand dunes. Back in the little playground, aka overseas. Instead, when we pulled out, they were ready to go to war. And unfortunately, a lot of protesters, they just decided to make their war here. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset. Well, the Marines aren't doing their oath. Well, I'll simply say it. Their oath is to protect America against foreign, overseas, and domestic terrorism. Domestic means here at home, meaning the rioters. Yeah, it's nice, wonderful, isn't it? Now, I don't see this as a problem. I have military buddies that are in the Marines. To all the Marines that are going there, give them hell. That's all I have to say. Give them hell. Now, I simply say this because, believe it or not, they can't give you hell unless you give them hell. The only thing that they're allowed to do is they're allowed to protect federal buildings. They cannot just randomly go up to you and yell at you. Now, if you were to throw something at them, touch them, charge at them, or simply decide to attack them, well, I'll apologize now. Now, I do not believe there needs to be bloodshed. I think instead of all this rioting and bloodshed, now instead what I believe that needs to happen is simple. Peaceful protest. And I mean true peaceful protest. Because what we have now is making Martin Luther King roll in his grave. Now, a lot of people might think I support ICE taking people away from their families. No, I don't. I don't believe families should be thrown out randomly. Instead, I think that they should be given a chance to actually decide to become American citizens. I also believe that there should not be people going and stealing stuff. I do not like liars. I do not like people deciding to hide their true intentions. I do not believe in all the political issues that are being brought up in this. Alright? Now, I think we need to move to something a little less depressing. So let's talk about Bonnie Blue, an OnlyFans girl deciding to try to lock herself in a cage and let 2,000 men come see her while she's basically naked inside of a cage. And let these men do whatever they like. Now, did that completely surprise you? Don't worry, it surprised me too. Or at least it was until I decided to get a TikTok about this. And when I got a TikTok about this, it was a TikTok of a woman who broke up with her boyfriend over this. Now, a couple of TikToks later, I found out that Bonnie Blue supposedly canceled this idea. Now, what's even funnier is the way I learned about this was this woman looked at her ex-boyfriend and said, "You no longer have Bonnie Blue or me." To which I decided to completely die laughing at the absurdity of a lot of the men that are doing this. If you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, here's a quick video of her.
1,000 men in 24 hours.
12 sleepless hours later.
How do you feel?
Excited.
Excited for what?
Just like that everyone had an amazing time, I had fun. So obviously part of me thought, okay, what if I do have to stop, or what if it does hurt, or what if people don't turn up? Do you know what I mean? But like the day has been a massive success.
Yeah, that's right. We decided to give the 3 too much fucking power. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that. However, it's a joke. But I simply do not understand how so many men are going to go after this woman. Don't believe me? Her body count is over 1,000 at this point. Because she decided to sleep with barely legal teenage college boys. That's right. She's going after college kids that are barely legal. I say this because she went to a college spring break thing and tried hooking up with as many men as possible. In fact, she's got many videos of just pulling random guys off the street. And a lot of the men she sleeps with is unprotected. So who knows what diseases she might have. Now, my little message to Bonnie Blue is very simple. How about not going after barely legal men? Alright. Well, there's the Bonnie Blue stuff. Kind of, glossed over. I think later point I'll do more in depth. So what's next? And me believing the world needs to be burned. Oh, I know. Let's do this clip. That's right. If you're wondering about that clip, it's done by a woman named Ava Steal Your Girl. And that's her deciding to do the whole jump around scream about men's mental health. Now I'm about to get very serious and I'm about to get extremely upset. Why? Simple. I have the statistics right here in front of me. Of all the suicides, roughly 75% to 80% is men. That's 2 every second. 2,973 a day. That's 696,800 a year. Alright? That's how many men die of suicide. And I get extremely upset at this simply because I was almost a statistic, almost added on to this earlier this year. See, in January, I had my own mental health struggles. Come March, I decided to do something about my mental health. I went to therapy. I'm currently in therapy. In fact, I go today. Today is Friday 13th. Happy birthday, Jason Voorhees. However, you making fun of men's mental health will never be okay. In fact, you're basically a nonce. And now I know in British slang that means something else. However, it won't surprise me if you are one of those two. I have absolutely no feeling of empathy towards you and the hate you get. Why? Because it's a very serious topic. Men's mental health is not a joking point. And the amount of hate you have gotten, I believe, is justified. Now, do I hope that something bad happens to you? No. I would never hope anything bad happens to anybody. However, because of you, Ava, you decided you tried to delete your TikTok. And you would decide to make a brand new TikTok under Unicorn Girl. And you did the same thing again. Again. You're not going to get a pass at all. Or if this isn't you, and it's someone completely new, congrats. You now have other women believing that this is not a problem and making fun of men's mental health. When in reality, it's a very serious topic. Now, do I believe that there is more, importance on men's mental health than all mental health? No, I believe all mental health is important. I will always believe if you need help, you need help. You need to go get help. And I will never look down on someone, no matter if it's man, woman, or anything else, on if they need therapy. Because if you need help, go get it. Now, do I believe that the amount of hate you've gotten is undeserved? No, completely deserved it. Do I believe that a lot of that's been said needs to be said? Yeah, it needs to be said. But don't worry, if you're not mad or believe that my anger is justified, here, watch it again. All right. That's third topic. Wow, we're on a bit of a roll. What else do I believe we need to be starting the world over because of? That's better wording. A police officer Because that's where we started. Talking about a police officer shooting a reporter. Well, that's kind of a bad police officer. I want to talk about a very good police officer. I want to talk about one that is the absolute best police officer. Officer, or really, he's not officer, he's a detective. Detective Hyde of the Buffalo Police, specifically the Special Victims Unit. Or, as I know him, Angry Cops. I want everyone to know that this channel, my podcast channel, The Inhibited, we stand with Detective Hyde. We take the high road. Why? Because we prefer to protect children. We will always prefer to protect children. To the news channels that defamed Officer Hyde, I wish nothing but the worst for your news channel. To the school board, the Buffalo School Board, I want you to know that you are failing children. To the lawyers that are signing up to do the investigations and then not putting out the articles, you are failing children. To the unsub podcast, thank you. I am subscribed to y'all. I have put y'all's stuff out on my channel. I stand by y'all. Y'all are the best community. Unsub community, y'all are the absolute perfection and the role models to protecting kids, helping those with any form of problem. Y'all are the absolute best. Now, why do I get upset? Because there were 2 kids hospitalized over marijuana gummies. In fact, I'm going to throw a clip up just here in a second talking about it. Roll the clip.
Buffalo school teachers are not allowed to call 911. They have to talk to an administrator, and the administrator makes that call. I've interviewed the uncle of one of the boys that took the 500 milligram edible. He is very disappointed with the school board. A, how do 500 milligram edibles just wind up on the hallway floor or at the locker room floor in a middle school? And then why would a teacher pick them up and give them to children? Whatever, stupid shit happens. Maybe that is happen. Maybe that did happen. My issue is the school and their policies at the administrative level do not allow things to get addressed as quickly as they should for the safety of children. When the EMTs get called, they pull up to the school and nobody will let them in. The doors are locked. Took the EMTs, I believe he said 8 to 10 minutes to find someone to let them into the building. And nobody would even come to the doors. It was actually the security guard from the parking lot that came in, and the security guard's like, hey, what's going on? He had no idea. So it took them somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes from arriving on the scene to get to the children. It got in there. The principal was apparently just didn't really give a shit. The school resource officer that was there comes up and is arguing with the EMTs like, well, do they really have to go to the hospital? They look fine. And the EMT is like, yes, they're going to the hospital. So that was an issue. And then a patrol officer showed up on the call as well. And the SRO and the patrol officer got into like an argument about why that guy shouldn't have even shown up and the SRO had it under control.
Meanwhile, you said this kid has a resting heart rate of about
130, correct. He's having the worst day of his life. He just had 500 milligrams.
There you go. It looked like a Sour Patch Kid. It was 500 milligrams. And these kids were giving it by a teacher. And what happened to the, evidence afterwards? It was thrown away, possibly by a teacher, trying to hide evidence. I refuse to just say, oh, well, it's not an issue. To the superintendents of the school board, and how y'all have been responding to all of this. Y'all are failing. And I can say a lot of this because I know for a fact how it is here in Georgia. That's right. We're Georgia people. My mom's a teacher, and she would never let this kind of thing happen. She doesn't care about getting written up, but even she would break school rules if they were as stupid as some of the school rules that y'all have been following and putting lives at risk. Now,
our mom, yes, is a teacher. She deals with very small children, elementary. Okay. Yes, she understands children can be wild, disruptive, crazy, just out there, and you get stressed out. She understands that. We understand that. I used to babysit. They're obnoxious. Yes, they're crazy sometimes. They're like little balls of static. You can't contain them, but that doesn't mean you drug them. My mom, yes, she has went and bought like a diffuser, something, and she has put natural calming oils that are actually healthy for you. But she would never give her children gummies, weed, drugs.
Yeah, that is where teachers once again are failing. And the single fact of that during this, no one decided to call 911. Instead, y'all called the parent and made the parent call 911 to get a ambulance there, and then prevented them from going inside to these kids. And then destroyed evidence, and then tried preventing legal justice. That is god awful. Now, I will say, in my description, there's going to be multiple things. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you what's in there. Very first thing is the w.gg. Second thing are going to be news articles of the LA riots. Now, I will say riots are happening everywhere, including here in Georgia. However, in Georgia, we're doing it peacefully, at least to my knowledge. The second we are no longer doing it peacefully, I'm probably doing a full video on just them.
This cloud is tear gas.
Now, second thing is going to be probably one or two little news things about Bonnie Blue. The third thing is going to be some links to men's mental health. There's going to be one specific one to where there will be ways for you to help cope with any depression you may have, and also be able to find a therapist that is right for you. If you're having any issues, I really suggest you go and take a look at it. The very last thing that's going to be on it, but the very last thing is going to be to the Unsub podcast. It's also going to be for angry cops, to their directive channels. And then the very final thing is probably going to be the email that you can send to the FBI in order to help get the FBI to show up and actually do research and actually look at the Buffalo school system to hopefully help these kids. Now, I'm a complete idiot. I'll tell you. I'm a small YouTuber, 52 subscribers. However, I stand by a lot of what I've said today. I believe both sides are fucking up with the riots. I believe Bonnie Blue is completely trying to help spread diseases. I believe in men's mental health. I believe all predators, male, female, deserve to be put into a wood chipper. And I believe kids need to be protected. Have a good day, y'all. Sorry, this video has been all over the place and has covered a lot of very strange topics. I've probably repeated myself a bunch. I just hope y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.